Walking right into Walmart, it's very clear that things are sectionalized by men and women and who should be buying what. This is just in the Halloween section, but it's very clear that for the boys, they should be buying t-shirts and things that have like skeletons and scary things on them, while the girls for Halloween should be buying tutus and princesses. And while there is a female superhero, it's still a female superhero, not a male, because that would be odd if a little girl were to like a boy superhero. It's very clear from the start that even at a young age, they are pushing this idea of the separation of boys by this and girls by this. And there's basically no overlap. It's very clear that the boys with the boy section and the girl section right next to each other. Another thing I noticed from personal experience when I asked a family to step out of the way so I could take a photo was that a little boy asked for a tutu and his mother said no and she said because that's for a girl. While the picture I've taken does not show it well, one thing I definitely noticed when looking at the deodorant section was the difference between the men's deodorant and the women's deodorant. The women's deodorant had many scents labeled as daylily, rosewater, and honeydew, while as the men's deodorant is the scent of adventure, sport defense, cool rush, and Everest. Not actual real things that you can smell, but are perceived as manly and intimidating, while as the women tend to represent flowers or fruit, and flowers and fruit are seen as very feminine in society, which makes sense as to why this would be the scent of a women's deodorant as opposed to a men's deodorant. You wouldn't see a man wanting to smell flowery fresh because he wants to smell like Everest or adventure, obviously. One of the next things I noticed was the differences in body wash. One that would be typically labeled as a women's body wash was called soft soap and is once again sweet honeysuckle and orange peel, fruit and feminine in quote type smelling things, while the men's is called Everyman Jack and it's just called shower gel, but the scent is cedar wood. Instead of like something that smells genuinely pretty good, like a flower, a man has to be something tough that's used for like building and things as a masculine activity. The differences in the colors too the women's are very light and pastel and pretty, while the men literally looks like wood, like cedar wood, like the scent. The women's brand also states that it has moisture beads and other things that are moisturizing and good for a shower gel, while the man's just says body wash and shower gel. It doesn't say anything else about moisture or really getting clean or anything, because it's just for a man just to wash himself real quick, and that's how it's perceived in society, is that the women are the ones who really need to worry about staying cleaned up and how it's going to affect their bodies for the men. So these were basically just some things that I noticed at our local Walmart when going through the beauty section, where I figured there would be the most distinction in men and women's products. I also did look at that Halloween section. Just when I was walking by, I noticed how stark the difference was between the boys' t-shirts and the girls' dresses for Halloween, how it automatically goes from just t-shirts with pants and then dresses. I think a lot of what I noticed has to do with the impact on society, along with that mother telling the little boy he can't have a skirt because it's a girl thing, and along with the sense of certain products being flowery and feminine for women, while it's like tough and manly cedar wood for men. I think a lot of that has to do with society's view of femininity and masculinity.